Hello, this is Master347, so I'm playing through a Fire Emblem Realities, and last time did chapter 17. And yep, unfortunately, yeah, that person who joined us in the other chapter, chapter 16, yeah, I thought she looked suspicious. Looked like she wanted to try and avenge her brother's death by killing Dimitri, but Brody, he blocked the blow. And this finally woke Dimitri up to not thinking that he has to live for the dead, or he has to avenge the dead constantly. So hopefully, looks like things are back to normal with him now. But we'll see soon enough what I mean. But let's go into chapter 17. Oh yes, also you may notice I skipped some of the support conversations. Don't worry, I'm going to show them in this video. I'm just going to edit it so that it just puts them all together, like near the end of the video. Because their support conversation, you can actually see those like any time when you've activated them. I'd rather not show them off again, so to save time and save me having to just watch them again. I'm just going to edit out parts in the last video with the support conversation and put them into this video. Which sort of makes a bit more sense. Alright, let's go. Because the other one was really long, even when I cut some parts out, so I had to fast forward certain bits. Yeah.
Part 2. Azure Moon. Harpstring Moon. The King's Triumphant Return. Following the death of Rodrigue, Dimitri begins to question his desire for revenge. His troubled mind turns to the kingdom capital and how he might end the chaos plaguing Fargus once and for all.
Like I said, I think we may have gotten the old Dimitri back. Or starting to. Oh, what have we got here?
Our victory at Drondr was certainly a turning point for us. However, Rodrigue's death has been difficult to bear. We've lost considerable military strength and resources.
Unfortunately, with things as they are now, I don't think House Gautier has any resources to spare.
I'm sorry. I really wish we could help. If only House Galatea had anything to give.
If we split up the soldiers currently defending the monastery, we should have sufficient numbers to invade the Empire. But even then...
Your Highness, you should be resting. Your wounds are still healing.
I am well, I assure you. More importantly, may I have a moment of your time? Thank you. I wish to apologize to all of you. I have led you down this dark path with me, and have caused so much suffering along the way. I cannot tell you how sorry I am for my behavior. There is no apology I could offer that would be sufficient.
And how do you intend to make up for my father's death?
Felix, I realize words alone are not enough to repent, but I fear they are all I have.
I'm not after more empty words. I want you to speak through your actions.
I know that no amount of regret can ever bring back the lives we have lost. I know that well. It is like patching up a tear with a different material. Things can never be as they were. The best I can hope for is to make things whole again. I wish to do the right thing from now on. That is why I have made a decision. I intend to take back the kingdom capital. I wish to save our people. Those who I turned my back on for far too long. To follow my heart and do the right thing. That is the only way I can atone for my sins.
Your Highness. If we can win back Ferdiad, it will give us the advantage in our war against the Empire. As one who has served the royal family for ages, know that your words bring me great joy and pride. That said, I must point out that if we make for Ferdiad, the Emperor's head will slip further out of reach. Can you live with that?
I still hold hatred in my heart for her, and for the ones responsible for the tragedy. That I will carry with me until death. But my life is my own. It belongs to no one else, and it is high time that I started living for what I believe in. I will no longer allow the voices of the dead to bind me. This is something that I must do. No. Something that I am choosing to do. I will accomplish my aim, even if it means risking my life to do so.
Understood, Your Highness. So, any objections?
You are correct. We cannot afford to die in vain by recklessly challenging the Empire.
I'm worried about Lady Rhea. But if this is the choice you've made, I support it.
I am at your command, Your Highness. I will follow you anywhere.
My sword is at your service, Your Highness.
I'll help too. The people in Ferdiad need us.
Fine, I'll help you, in my father's stead. But in return, you must win. You know that, don't you, Dimitri?
I do. And I swear on my father's lance that we will prevail.
Then it is decided. It seems this war council has much to discuss. Our next stop is Ferdiad, the kingdom capital, for the future of Fargus.
Oh, right. Finally. The planet isn't totally insane. It's a great idea, Dimitri. So, we're going to retake back the capital. Yes. We can't keep going as we are anyway, so it makes perfect sense. Okay. So, yeah. Dimitri has now Dimitri seems to be back to his old self, sort of. You can do his supports again, like so. So that I would do a bit once I've got everyone else to their motivations up. And there's actually since most of the supports in the game are pretty much almost done, there's a much better way of doing it than I did before. I'm actually going to shut it off a little bit. So let's go explore for a bit. Alright, let's see what quests we got. Supply Run, Wild Game, and Xanadu Fruit. Needed beautiful flowers, a type or size would do. Huh. It's Gilbert again. But yes, it's good to have Dimitri back. But yeah, I usually just spam gifts, but I was mostly not just for motivation, but also for support. But I don't need to do that anymore because most of my supports are maxed out. So I'm going to focus more on my professor level instead.
I am very grateful to you. I could never have achieved this on my own. It is all thanks to you and Lord Rodrigue. This month, we will invade Ferdiad by way of the Fraldarius domain. Leave the negotiations with House Fraldarius to me. You make ready for the actual battle. It's a tricky business, but we are taking our first steps forward. I have a request.
Let's see if we can actually do that.
This month, leave them. It's a tricky.
No.
Okay, let's have a quick look at the game's still loading.
Unbelievable.
Here we go. I don't think I can do the other one though. I might not have the materials necessary. Have a quick look see. So it's just literally pick up a flower, but that's simple enough.
I think this month, leave the. It's a tricky.
Wait, what? I thought maybe I did it wrong. Let's have a look at the quest.
I think.
Oh! Give him a skill as a gift.
Leave the
Okay. And I guess we're giving that flower then. Yep.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, now for the other one. Wild game and Xanadu fruit. Wild game? Do I have that? Food. Oh, I got wild game. What was the other one?
This leave the is a tricky bit.
Oh, whoops. Oh, it's a quest. Xanadu fruit. Oh wait, that new shop we've opened. The Dark Merchant. Does he have it? If he does, I'll just buy it off him. Alright, I'll have to pretty much try and get it the other way. Let's see.
Hello.
Okay.
Tell your friend hello.
No, he did yes. Ah, no, he doesn't have it.
Tell your friends.
Right.
Let's see when these guys got it.
Hello there. Return
No.
soon.
If you manage to take taxes, like Cornelia from the Emblem, but if they...
Oops, wrong person.
Welcome. Come again.
Huh. I don't want to get that tomato though. Yeah, Xanadu fruit. How do I get that? I want all the renown I can get. I don't think she sells any of that. Nope.
Come back soon. Right.
That's something we have to do off screen then. Yeah, I may have to do that off screen then. I'll probably have to plant something specific and probably just hope that I get the fruit I need. That's probably what it is.
Here's my thought.
But anywho, lastly, I did want to show her basically a bit, what is it? Ah yes, trying to get everyone's motivation up. So you do get usual motivation when they're doing this and stuff, like the usual. But we notice that that's the special, so it doesn't require anything.
This looks...
Blah 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 we go. And the motivation gets maxed up, which is nice. But if you do full menu, as long as you have the ingredients, you can pretty much just do it with any of them, which is pretty sweet. So if I pick this and I need someone to get the vitality back up, I can do it this way. So let's see. It's basically it's on specific people there as well. And it's best to do it on people that actually like it, so let's see. So, to do any to get his back up. There's Ingrid and dang it. Here's a good example. So Felix and Dedu. So we do that, and basically this will, just for a bonding thing, it also strengthens it right up. This strengthens the motivation back up. See? And I'm also getting points as well, so that's the other good reason to do it. So I guess it could be any, doesn't really matter, whatever.
I appreciate
small.
See? And you can just keep doing this over and over again, which is pretty sweet. But alright, I'm just going to talk to everyone else off screen as usual, and also do the other things like do the choir and all that. But I just want to show you that's an easy way of getting motivation up. These require materials though, like food and all that, but it's useful if you just want to get the motivation up and you don't really need to get support levels up that nearly as much. So I'll just show that off. So I'll be back once I've talked to everyone as usual, and also figured out what I need to plant to get that fruit. So I'll see you guys then. Hello, I am back. Yep. I know it's another fruit now. Unfortunately it's a bit randomized, but I can show you at least which to plant. Basically you need to plant, let's see if we got them, West Follum seeds. Plant those and there's a chance that you might get the fruit. Since I have so many spaces now, I can actually just keep planting all of these. So that's what I'm going to do. And also want to cultivate with the best seeds available, so spread Plato's blessing. And just pray we get what we want. But unfortunately it's kind of random, so you might not always get what you want from it, so yeah, it's pretty annoying. There's nothing we can do about it.
Okay.
Also, go here for because I managed to get the main character in Dimitri to A rank. Oh, looks like I got another one as well. Oh, whatever, I guess I do that, I'll shut it off as well. But I want to show this special. Basically, again, just trying to get this. Let's see. Just do this quick.
Yeah.
Alright. Now for a turn of oh, wow, I gave him another support. Where did I get that one from? Let's see. I know I'm going for Dimitri. Setif and oh. Wow. Alright, let's do those first. I think I'll do these ones first, the main character, and then tackle on with Dimitri last, along with pretty much all the others. Yeah, that's how you get that fruit. You have to plant the West Follum seeds.
Really?
Just gotta hope that we get the ones we want though, and that's the only annoying thing about it.
Professor. How are you doing, Professor? Would you care to join me for a cup of tea? It occurs to me that whenever we chat, I have a tendency to pester you with my questions and theories about your history. It seems only fair to speak on the topic of myself for once. And perhaps you might feel more positively inclined toward my research if I shared my own story.
Oh, sorry about this. Shutting the door.
Not at all. I am quite honest in my motivations. Well, I suppose I should begin at the beginning, eh? I was born into a noble house of the Empire. Not a large house, mind you, but noble all the same. Our land holdings were small, but our bloodline was quite strong. So, as you can imagine, there were many of us in the family who carried the power of crests. I myself bear a minor crest. Our family's abundance of crests may be part of the reason I've been interested in the topic since I was just a boy. I dedicated myself to my studies, and after years of effort, I became lead crest scholar at the Empire's largest research institution. I had only Imperial blood, and thus Imperial crests, at my disposal in the Empire. So I came to Garrick Mach and devoted myself to my research during my time as a professor. My progress is slow, but with each revelation, I move ever closer to the answers I have sought for decades. Your cooperation as the bearer of the Crest of Flames ensures my research will continue to advance. In fact, it may bring me ever closer to the goal of uncovering everything there is to know about crests. I do hope you shall continue helping me advance in this field of study. Together, we will solve the mystery of your Crest of Flames, and our world will be the better for it. Shall we proceed? My lab instruments are fully prepared. I have a great number of tests I'm excited to carry out. No, don't worry. They won't hurt one bit.
Let's see. There we are.
Professor, a moment. I am sorry that I doubted your ability. I deeply regret ever holding such a view of you. It is obvious to me now that you are extraordinary. Do you doubt your own power, even now? I suppose that's only natural. You've lived your whole life knowing next to nothing about yourself. Not even Geralt could have possibly known all there is to know about you. But I wonder, are you satisfied with that? Are you content, not knowing who you are? Or do you yearn to know more? But you cannot go on not knowing, can you? So, only one more question matters. Are you ready? The truth. All of it. Learning it will doubtlessly have direct consequences on your life. I do not know what those will be. You may decide, once you learn it, that you wish you hadn't. But even if you have such regrets, you will never be able to return to ignorance. So, are you ready to know the truth? I see. That is what I wish to hear. Since the Archbishop put so much faith in you, I will continue to offer my aid. More than that, I will put my faith in you as well, and I will do all that is within my power to help you someday reach the truth.
Okay, now for Dimitri. Yeah, I managed to get his up to A.
Professor!
I'm not doing it on purpose, I was actually just trying to get motivations up, but mostly I'm more concerned with professor level now, so just going to lunch a lot. But it worked. Oh, wrong way. It's this way. Here we are.
Indeed, but I was thinking about ending it here. Perhaps it is the gloomy weather, but I am feeling the sting of wounds that should have healed long ago. The injury I got when that girl stabbed me after the battle at Gronder. Her eyes were filled with revenge, just as mine once were. I don't know, but I have a guess. I suppose I haven't told you about that yet. I was attacked inside the monastery the other day. It caused quite the uproar. The ones who attacked me were some of the youths we taught swordsmanship to once upon a time. It seems they were raised by a group of thieves we put down 5 years ago. I heard Lady Rhea took custody of them, claiming that the children were innocent. I have taken so many lives, and with each one I face hatred. During the last 5 years especially. My life was not so different from that of a wild beast, and that young girl's brother. At some point I must have... That is why I thought it only natural that someone would retaliate someday. Because I hated, because I stole, and because I killed. But with those children, it's different. We drew our blades with the best of intentions, only to hurt them in the end. I suppose this is yet another thing we will just have to live with. Yes, as one who chose to fight, it is my responsibility to confront this anguish and the true nature of war, until the day my life comes to an end. Thank you. You know, Professor, there's something that I only recently realized. I never knew it could be so comforting to have someone standing by my side.
No problem. Well, now I'm going to handle asymmetry with Dimitri because, yep, he has a lot of supports. A ton even. So let's get started, shall we? Oh boy. This is going to be a pretty long video for this alone.
Your Highness, you still have scars on your back. It does you no good to languish in pain. I will procure some medicine.
No, it is fine. They are still deep. These are from 9 years ago. They do not hurt any longer. And besides, it would be a shame if the scars I got from protecting you were to fade. I bear these scars proudly. It makes me think that it was worthwhile that someone like me survived.
To hear you say such things.
You say that I saved you. But do you know that you also saved me that day? If I had been unable to save anyone, I would have been the sole survivor. I would have had no reason to keep living. But I saved someone. Saved you. That and that alone has always been my crutch.
When I stood before those soldiers and their swords that day, I was prepared to die. But then, you suddenly appeared, and you shielded me. I knew then that a savior's hand could reach into even the deepest darkness. I still have not been able to repay that debt.
Have you not heard a word I've said? You have saved me in countless ways. 5 years ago, I did nothing but await my execution within my jail cell. Was it not you that saved me?
That was nothing more than my duty as your vassal.
Listen, perhaps you consider me to be someone special, but I think the same of you. You are irreplaceable, cherished. So stop saying that we cannot be friends. Stop saying such awful things.
Please, do not look at me that way. You promised me you would build a kingdom that is proud to boast of Duscur blood. In this kingdom, where there is no distinction between the people of Duscur and the people of Fodlan, will I finally, without reservation, be able to call you my friend? Will I, Dimitri?
Dedu. Yes, you will call me your friend again and again, no matter how many hardships I must endure.
I will do all I can to bring about that world as well. To be your friend is what I have always wanted.
Is that so? I am glad to hear it.
But until that time, we must allow no harm to befall you. So please call upon me when you walk alone at night. And even when you go out in the day, please tell me where you are going and whom you are meeting.
In the end, I suppose there is no fixing your overprotectiveness, is there? I suppose I can live with that.
I have a question for you. Answer quickly before my hand slips and I cut you in half.
Always so ominous. Well, what is it, Felix?
Sometimes you have an animal's face, contorted with anger and bloodlust. At other times, a man's with a friendly smile. Which is your true face?
Do not waste your breath on questions with such obvious answers. They are both the real me. My father, my friends, Glenn. They all meant a great deal to me. And they were all brutally slaughtered. I alone survived. If I do not shoulder the anguish and regret they must have felt, who will?
So that's how you justify your atrocities.
What do you mean?
I will fulfill my duty to the late king. My old man used to say that over and over like a mantra. How nauseating. No one seems to understand. The dead won't acknowledge your loyalty. They don't care. What a load of bunk it is, pretending to serve a corpse. You're serving your own ego.
You are wrong.
No, I'm not. The dead are dead. The living are living. You have to respect that boundary. If you keep stringing gravestones around your neck, you'll snap.
Even still, I cannot forget them, nor can I let them go.
Then keep those thoughts to yourself. If you're too weak to do that, abandon your throne. Become a gravekeeper.
Felix.
I'm not immune to emotion, you know. Far from it. I haven't gone a day without questioning why my father and brother had to die, while I survived. I'll bear this pain until the day I die, but I refuse to wallow in it. I have more important things to do than blubber for my whole life.
You know, Felix, you really are growing more and more like your brother. Always so sarcastic, and constantly looking for a fight. But deep inside, more than anyone, you...
What are you getting at?
Oh, it's nothing. But allow me to thank you. Your perspective has opened my eyes.
Not my intention. I couldn't stand the pathetic look on your face, that's all.
I see. If you say so, then we will leave it at that.
Good evening, Dimitri. Have you come to pray?
Something like that. And you?
Oh yes, that's why I'm here. I love how calm and peaceful the cathedral is this late at night.
It really is.
Coming here on a quiet night always makes me think of those who aren't with us anymore. We've lost so many in this war, too many to count. I hope they all get to live in eternal happiness at the goddess's side. These prayers are all I have to offer.
You are a kind soul, Mercedes.
I think you're kind too, Dimitri. Sometimes to a fault.
Kind? Me? No, not at all. I am just a killer. A disgusting monster.
But why do you kill? For the sake of your loved ones? Those who have passed? Real monsters kill for selfish reasons. They're incapable of expressing sorrow when they kill. So please, don't call yourself a monster.
Mercedes, I am scared. So scared that I will forget their faces. The people who have died. Who I have killed. I cannot let myself forget them. I know that, and yet, whatever my feelings, it is all the act of a monster.
It's sad, but the truth is that people forget. You may be afraid to forget your past, but you'll never be able to revisit it. Living in the present is the best we can do. We owe it to those who can't come back.
If someone had said those words to me 5 years ago, I would be a different man today.
What do you want to do now, Dimitri? Continue fighting for those who have died? Not as a king, but as my classmate. What do you want to do?
My own dreams. I have never given it any thought. What about you? What do you want, Mercedes?
I want to keep sewing and training with you, even after you've become king. I want to be your friend.
But I have no right to stand beside you.
Please, I can't hear any more of this self-deprecation. I just want to be by your side. Is that so much to ask?
Mercedes, I want the same thing. If you allow it, I wish to stay by your side.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who feels that way. Let's spend a little more time here together. Just the two of us.
Your Highness, I have one more favor to ask.
Is this about Gustav again? I have plenty more stories about him, but perhaps it is time for you to speak with him yourself.
Oh, it's not about Father this time. This time I wanted to ask about you.
About me?
I mean, I heard all about Father last time, but I didn't ask about you.
Ah, well, I'm afraid there is not much of interest for me to tell you.
Oh, it doesn't have to be funny or interesting. That's not why I'm asking. It's just that I thought I already knew you, but I'm not sure I really do. That day when we were reunited at the monastery, I didn't know what to say to you. So I wanted to prepare some of your favorite food. I thought maybe if you ate something that you liked, you'd cheer up a little. But when I got to the kitchen, I realized I didn't even know what you like to eat.
I see. Well, it's a little hard to say what my favorite is. I just don't really have any strong feelings about food. That said, you're pretty keen on sweet things, right, Annette?
Yes, that's right. I'm at my happiest when I'm digging into a sweet treat. Oh, did you know there's a famous sweets shop in the capital?
Yes. It often had long lines outside, didn't it? The castle guards often spoke of it.
The sweets were so good. They cost a fortune, but I loved them. When Father was still around, we all lived as a family in the capital. Since then, I've had them only a few times. How I'd love to taste them again.
Say, Annette, when this war is over, where will you go? I heard that you were close to Baron Dominic back in the academy days.
That's right. But that's not where I think I'd like to go when all of this is over. I reconnected with Father, so I'd like to live with my family again, in the capital. Also, if I'm in the capital, I'll be able to see you from time to time. Right?
Ah, that settles it then. We'll have to get your father working twice as hard.
Father's at a ripe old age now. I'd appreciate it if you didn't work him too hard.
Oh, of course. I will keep that in mind.
Your Highness, I've come to apologize. I mismanaged my feelings and got carried away. I've been thinking about what might have made you say the things you did. I was so caught up in the moment, and in my own feelings, that I didn't think of what yours might be.
No, I should be the one to apologize. I did not intend to say such things. I lashed out like a child. You were right to rebuke me. I am disgusted by my own inability to express myself. Will you allow me to explain?
Of course.
At the tragedy of Dusker, I saw countless corpses. Of course, I saw his, too. Glenn's. Ingrid, I doubt you would have been able to see him. They were unable to bring his body back, after all. He must have died an agonizing death, full of pain and regret. That is what I saw on his face. In that wasteland, there were no beautiful, proud deaths that could have been written about in heroic tales. Not one. I do not want you to die a death like that. Not even for the sake of loyalty or duty.
A king must at times order his soldiers and knights to fight and die on his behalf. Their lives must be used for the greater good. And this is something any good king understands innately. Any king who doesn't allow people to die on his behalf is too soft to rule well.
You leave me little room for argument. Have I disappointed you?
No. I chose to serve you because of how you are. As your knight, I will stand by your side and uphold your soft-hearted ideals.
What has changed, Ingrid? You were so obstinate the other day.
I've realized that I haven't been facing a very important truth. Because of you, I can finally move on. Thank you.
Marianne?
Oh, Dimitri.
Oh, I'm sorry for disturbing your prayer.
There's no need to apologize. I just finished.
I see. What were you praying for?
I was simply asking the goddess for forgiveness.
Forgiveness? For what?
I put our soldiers in danger during the recent battle.
What matters is that they came back safely in the end. You shouldn't blame yourself for that.
It's true, but you were injured when you came to our aid.
That? It was just a scratch. A small price to pay for your safety.
But...
I would never regret helping an ally, even if it meant losing my own life.
No, that's wrong.
How so?
It's just all wrong. You have my thanks for helping in the battle, Dimitri, but I'm afraid I have to ask that you keep your distance from me.
Is that so?
Yes.
Forgive me, but I will be there for you, whether you want me to or not.
I'm sorry. Why are you out and about so late, Dimitri?
Hello, Flame. I could ask you the same thing.
Me? I was feeling restless and came here to think.
I see. I'm here for the same reason.
How funny. But... are you feeling well? You look fairly pale.
It's nothing. I just have a bit of a headache.
Oh my. Headaches are quite troublesome, are they not? I am sure it will subside soon. Actually, I am quite talented when it comes to healing magic. If you will allow me, I will have you feeling better in no time.
That's kind of you, but I'm fine.
But why not? Have I offended you somehow?
This headache is something I've dealt with for a while now. Ever since my family and friends were murdered before my eyes. I must never forget that day. I must never allow their deaths to be forgotten. I feel this headache as a reminder of sorts. Of those I failed to protect. And of their murderers who still roam free.
I see. That would explain your somber demeanor. Still, I do not agree with all you are saying. I feel that if I were your father or any of your dear friends whom you lost, I would want you to let go of me eventually. I would never want someone whom I care deeply for to be pained by the loss of me for eternity. And I doubt they would want that either.
Perhaps. Unfortunately, they have left this world, so I can no longer ask their preference.
We cannot ask them directly, but we can imagine how they might have felt. You know who they were as people. As for me, if I am ever to be but a memory in your future, I want you to remember me in a way that brings you joy. I would want you to smile when you recalled me, to feel warmed by the notion that I cherished your company. I cannot imagine I am the only one who feels this way. Surely, anyone who loved another would wish only for their peace and happiness. I must apologize. I was out of line, clearly. I must get some rest now. Please do not stay up too late yourself.
Good night, Flane. And... thank you. Gustav, it has been 8 years since I last called you by that name.
Your Highness, I must deeply apologize for leaving the kingdom without permission.
There is no need to explain, old friend. I can guess at your reasons. The tragedy of Duscur. You felt responsible for that incident and sought respite in the goddess, abandoning your name, rank, and homeland in repentance. Am I right?
I have no excuses to offer. It was all I could think to do.
I always knew you for a pious man, and I figured that if you were to leave, this is where you would end up. You have changed much. Your face does not have the same resolve it once did.
If I may, Your Highness, you have changed as well.
I can't disagree.
It was my duty to protect His Majesty, your father. Naturally, that also included Lady Patricia and yourself as well.
My father and mother are gone. No amount of regret will bring them back.
My dreams are haunted by the thought that, had I arrived at Duscur more swiftly...
You saved my life at Duscur. I have only gratitude for you, no blame to speak of. I wish for you to remain in the kingdom, Gustav. Even after this conflict is over. I need your strength to help rebuild the ravaged land that Fargus has become.
Please, I beg your forgiveness. But there is no place left for me in that land.
I see. Though much has changed, your stubbornness remains. I have no desire to trouble you. If you do not wish to return, that is your choice to make. But I do advise you to at least visit the place of your birth. If only for your family's sake.
Yes, Your Highness. Thank you. I appreciate your concern.
That's it. I got a few here. Let's do some of these.
Hello, Marianne. All done for the day?
Oh, Sylvain. Yes, I was just heading back to my quarters.
Well then, my timing couldn't be better. I was just heading into town and I thought maybe you'd like to join me?
I don't think I should.
I heard a story once about a beautiful maiden who was locked up in a monastery day and night. She was held prisoner by her own fear of the outside world. Then a brave knight set the girl free and took her to town, where they drank tea and talked for hours. So, my fair maiden?
Please, you should not waste your time on me. Besides, my adoptive father requested that I not stray too far from the monastery.
Margrave Edmund wants to keep you locked up, huh? I've heard he's, let's call it ambitious. Well, just tell him who I am. I think he'd approve. I'm heir to House Gautier, one of the most prominent families in the kingdom. I've got a crest, I've got money, and I'm stunningly handsome. What's that face for, Marianne? Was it the handsome thing? I can see how that might have been a bit much.
I don't really know you all that well, but I don't think it makes a difference. I mean, it doesn't really matter to me that you have a crest.
Oh, no. I didn't mean you should find my crest impressive. I meant your family would, and you know what? Maybe I should start over.
If you're going into town, please just go without me.
Oh, okay. I've got to get going anyway. Places to be, you know. Well, this is me going. But remember, should you ever need me, I will forever be your knight, my maiden.
I wonder what he meant by that.
Ugh, my head. Why am I here instead of the infirmary? When did I... Oh boy.
How are you feeling, Professor Manuela?
Sylvain? What do you need at this hour?
You don't remember? Well, you collapsed in the infirmary and...
That doesn't sound like me. Wait, no, I remember. The truth is, something sad happened. So I did what I always do to forget my troubles.
Anyway, I found you passed out on the floor, helped you up, then carried you back here.
And what were you doing in the infirmary late at night? Not bringing a girl there, I hope.
Nope, I was definitely alone. I just had a bad feeling, and I decided to look around to see if anyone needed my help.
Ugh, my poor head.
Are you all right? Here, have some water.
What a thoughtful young man you are. You're a real gentleman. compared to that jerk who just...
That good-for-nothing guy who strung you along, whispered sweet nothings in your ear, then shattered your heart beyond repair? I agree. He's a jerk.
Oh no. Did I say those things to you?
Actually, your version had more details. Very detailed details.
Oh dear.
You know, Professor, you're a good catch. It's a shame that you've had no luck with men. You need a guy like me. Somebody who sees your beauty and appreciates how tender you are, emotionally, and how much love you have to give.
You're a smooth talker, even when you don't mean what you say. I'm going to change, so shoot, okay?
Sure, I can take a hint. Rest up, Manuela.
Thank you, Sylvain. I'm going to try and get some sleep. Did he just call me Manuela and not Professor? That sly little... Although... Me? With Sylvain? Now there's a crazy thought.
When's the last one?
Right. Then this goes here.
Hello, Raphael. What exactly are you doing with that piece of wood?
Hey, Hilda. I'm just doing this.
With your bare hands. Impressive that just the outer ring is left. It makes quite a nice circle.
Yeah. I just gotta polish it up and paint it. Then the base of the necklace will be ready.
Sorry, did you say necklace?
How's it look? I bet it's the right size, too. And this tree bark smells amazing. Now I just need to carve these boar tusks to hang from it.
Boar tusks?
I almost forgot. I was gonna add these wolf claws, too. And I could even add some color to them.
And wolf claws?
Huh? Is something wrong, Hilda?
That necklace. It has a certain, rustic charm?
You're right. It really does. Want me to make you one while I'm at it?
Oh no, I wouldn't want to trouble you. Besides, I think it would look better on you than on me.
It would definitely look good on me. But this one's actually a birthday present for my little sis.
For your sister? I mean, don't you think she might like something more feminine? Something cute?
Something cute? What's wrong with something tough and rugged? This necklace is gonna have tusks and claws and stuff.
But girls don't usually go for tusks and claws and stuff. There should be flowers or gems or... Here, I can talk you through it. If you're making a necklace for your sister, you might try putting a pretty little flower in a small crystal bottle and sealing it with resin.
If you say so. But where would I find a flower that was pretty enough?
Oh, honestly, I don't know much about flowers. But, now that I think about it, I remember hearing about a splendid flower that only blooms near Fodlan's throat.
Fodlan's throat? That's on the eastern edge of the Alliance. I'd have to leave now if I'm gonna make it back in time.
Yeah, that does seem like a bit of a stretch. Okay, let me think. Where'd he go? Well, no matter.
Alright, and there we go then. Oof, that was supposed to day. But that's it for now. So, yep, what I'm gonna do next basically is just do as usual stuff, and then again I'm gonna edit those supports which I didn't show off the last part because I had to edit those out because the video is really long. So yeah, I'm just gonna put them on this video instead. So I'll see you guys once I've done with pretty much instructions and stuff. Yep, usual.
Oh, Dudu! Are you praying to the goddess of Fodlan? That seems odd. Won't the Dusker gods be upset if they hear you praying to another land's deity?
The Fodlan goddess was recognized in Dusker, too. The deities of foreigners are seen as the protectors of their respective lands. It has been said that we would offer our prayers to her in times of war.
Huh. So the goddess is part of a pantheon. I guess that's one way to interpret it. Anyway, what are you praying for?
For peace to come even one day sooner.
That's a lovely prayer. I was just thinking about praying for that myself.
I see.
Hey, Didu, what are your plans for yourself once this war is finally over?
To serve His Highness for the rest of my days.
I thought you might say that.
And you?
That's a good question. I was thinking about traveling to Dusker.
To Dusker? There is nothing of interest left there.
Isn't it where you were born? And isn't it where your wonderful food and stories come from? I think those are reasons enough to visit at least once.
Mercedes. If you will allow it, I would like to accompany you. His Highness would surely grant me leave to go.
You really think so? Then I hope the war ends as soon as possible.
As do I.
We're going to have to shower the goddess with prayers. We'll pray that she watches over and protects us while we work to end this war. Then, when it's finally finished, we can travel.
That promises to be interesting. We should pray to the Dusker gods as well.
Yes, that's a brilliant idea. Which of the Dusker gods should we pray to?
For victory, we pray to the god of war. Or just the god of war.
Come on, what were you going to say? Oh, I know. It's the god of travel, right?
Let us leave it at that.
I knew I was right. You taught me so much about your gods. So let's pray. For the end of the war, and for our safe travels to Dusker.
Ah, hello. Didu, yes?
Finished praying?
I am, yes. You have grown much since I saw you last. You're a man now.
You barely know me.
True. I suppose we did only meet a handful of times.
As haggard as you look now, you were even worse when I last saw you in the capital.
Haggard, eh? True enough.
Still weighed down by the same regret, I see.
I was unable to protect the king. That is the ultimate failure. One I must atone for.
If you have the spare time to beg forgiveness, then pick up a lance and train.
That would do nothing to atone for the dead.
Your prayers are mere self-indulgence.
You do not understand.
No, I do not. Fargus needed you. His Highness needed you.
There was no other choice but for me to leave. What would you have done if you were in my place? If His Highness had died due to your failures?
If he commanded me to live, then I would live. Otherwise, I would die with him. I have nothing left to lose other than His Highness. Home, family, all but that man I have already lost. You were a knight in service to the king for decades. Not only did you excel in bravery, wisdom, and tactics, but in matters of character, you were an ideal knight. Utterly above reproach. That is what His Highness has always said. I have only come this far by modeling my conduct after his stories of you. But now...
Forget those words spoken by His Highness. I am no different a man than I was before, beaten down by sin. Alone and weak. I am lost and irredeemable.
Hello, Father. May I have a moment?
Of course.
I read all your letters. You never stopped writing them, did you? My birthday, Mother's birthday, every possible occasion, without fail.
Yes.
So why didn't you send any of them? If you had sent even one, we would have...
Each time I thought to send one, I could not do so. Such behavior belittled my penance. Time passed, and with it my feelings of guilt toward you and your mother grew. Even though I wrote the letters, I could not send them.
I would always talk about it with Mother. If only he'd write us at least once, we'd say. We waited and waited. All those long years.
I'm sorry.
I'm tired of hearing it, so just stop. Your apologies change nothing. Send those letters to Mother. She'll be happy to hear from you.
I cannot.
In that case, why don't I send them?
I have given them to you. They are yours to do with as you wish.
Alright then. I'll send them. You don't get to take it back afterwards. Father, you should know that they made me happy.
Happy?
Knowing that you were thinking of us all along. We were worried about you, Mother and I. Neither of us ever came out and said it, but we thought maybe you hated us. Were trying to forget all about us.
Never. I swear it on His late Majesty and on my homeland.
I see. Alright, then swear. Swear that someday, when this war is over, you'll come back to us.
I hear you, Annette. I will return without fail.
No matter what. That's a promise you just made. If you break it, I'll never speak to you again.
Yes, I promise.
Great. Now I'm positively elated. I can't wait until we're all a family again.
I look forward to it, Annette. More than anything.
Hey Shamir, how do you think I'm doing with my bow lately? Think I'm getting pretty good? I hit closer to the bullseye today, and that felt real good.
You were fine.
Fine? That might be the nicest thing you've ever said to me, Shamir.
You take too many direct shots, though.
But it's easier if you shoot straight.
Of course it is. But if you can hit your enemy with a straight shot, you're too close. Tell me, Cyril, what's an archer's greatest weakness?
When we get too close to the enemy and we can't shoot the way we're supposed to?
Exactly. As an archer, your position is critical. Know exactly how far the enemy is and keep a minimum safe distance. Understood?
You mean to stay away from the enemies, but not too far away or my arrows can't hit them.
So you understand why you can't rely on straight shots. You have to use curved shots as well. Never run up to your target. Hit them from a safe range.
Shoot them from a safe range with curved shots.
Archers should always control the battlefield.
Okay, yeah, I get that. I'm gonna go practice some of those curved shots right now.
You're not a bad student. If nothing else, you have the right attitude.
You think so?
Keep it up.
I will.
Alright, and I am back. But yeah, what I did was after that I tried editing those other support conversations after I instructed, just to make a bit more sense. But as usual off screen, what I would do is I will just do a few battles here. I'll do the rare battles and stuff. Then afterwards, what I do basically is I'll go back to the monastery and I'll keep trying to get my professor level up. But yeah, that method of me is going to basically the cafeteria and stuff, and basically getting meals that way really boosts up my professor level. So I want to get to at least 8+. There's some really good rust weapons I've gone for quite a while, but I never had to make them because the professor needs to be at least 8+. So next time, it is straight towards this chapter right here. So while screening and do all that. But I don't know if this will be uploaded. It'll probably be a bit while to get this uploaded though, because again I have college tomorrow because I did this down on Sunday. But with that, this is Master from 347, a game with of all types of arbitrary platformer. Stay classy.